If you never feel glute activation or you feel your lower back more than your glutes during lower body exercises, this is the one movement that will help you finally find your glutes and protect your hips and spine as you get older. I use this exercise with almost every beginner who comes into my studio. It looks extremely simple, but when it's done incorrectly, it actually reinforces the exact compensation patterns that lead to pain or lack of true glute activation. Most people think this is a simple exercise and they lie down and lift the leg and think that was easy, I must be strong. This is a prone hamstring glute raise, so I'm going to demonstrate what it looks like, right? Because most people think that when they get in this position, I'll say lie down on the ball, okay? And you're gonna lift the back of your leg, okay? Now, as I'm doing this, okay, it looks like a simple exercise. And when people start doing it, they think like, that's easy, I can totally do this. But actually, I wasn't doing it correctly. There were aspects in that form that were not correct, which actually reinforce negative compensation patterns, meaning the problem with the form or the problem with not being able to feel your hamstring or glute work correctly. So let's walk through this correctly and let's do it exactly the way it's supposed to be, because if you look back on that demonstration that I did, you're gonna see that my leg and my pelvis were moving together at the same time. So watch carefully, okay, because this is wrong, right? So when I pick up my leg, you can see, watch in my lower back, you can see that it's moving with my leg, and it should not be, okay? Because if that happens, then I'm moving my whole pelvis with my leg. And I actually talk about this in the studio. I call it the bleg, the B-L-E-G, the butt that moves with the leg, and they move as one, and it should not be because they really are two parts. So when we lay on the ball, we're gonna walk through this step by step. I want you to lay on the ball. Don't try to prop yourself up. Let yourself gently, okay, fold or melt over the ball. Okay, feel like your rib cage and your pelvis are shaping to the ball. So you're gonna see what happens to my back here, okay? As I shape my rib cage and pelvis to the ball, we can see that my spine becomes more neutral. Then I'm gonna say, raise the back, raise your leg, okay? And do not let go of the shape of the ball. Because once we let go of the shape of the ball, this is what happens. And we don't want to do that, right? Because then we lose the important connection between our rib cage and pelvis, right? So raise your leg, okay? You're going to feel limited range of motion. When you raise your leg, you're gonna squeeze the bottom of your glute, the bottom of your butt muscle. Hold it up. Feel like at the same time, you're still hugging the ball with your rib cage and your pelvis. Then you're going to feel the back of the leg start to tense up. Then I would say lower down by a little bit, a micromillimeter, come up by a micromillimeter. Tiny movements going up and going down, okay? So you don't want to have big swings in this movement, because big swings are going to contribute to the loss of connection that is supposed to be staying in your rib cage and pelvis. It's going to contribute to the loss of internal stabilization in your core, right? So now when you raise that leg and you feel, okay, you're gonna feel that muscle is starting to work. So then you want to lower down slow. Don't touch the floor with your foot. Don't rest it, okay? Hold it, okay? Then squeeze the bottom of your butt muscle, the bottom of your glute muscle to raise your leg while you're holding or hugging the ball with your rib cage. Then I would say to clients, do this for 5 to anywhere 30 reps. Sometimes when the glute muscle has not learned to activate on its own like that, it doesn't quite wake up. and it starts to wake up. Sometimes clients do have to get to 30 reps in order to feel that the muscle is waking up. And I would say do anywhere from 5 to 30 reps on one side, then do 5 to 30 reps on the other side. There are two things that you want to pay attention to when you're doing this. So when you're laying on the ball and you're going to raise your leg, watch my foot. Don't let my foot point like this. Okay, think about how we walk on the floor. We don't walk on our tippy toes. So make sure your foot stays neutral. Then when you're here too, make sure that you're not pushing yourself up, because then you're going to lose that connection with your rib cage and pelvis. So you want to always feel like your rib cage and pelvis are hugging the ball. Okay, then you're going to start to feel your glute really start to work. And if the range of motion is limited and you can't come up high, then you're doing it correctly. Okay, so then you would switch to the other leg. Same thing. Watch for the angle of your foot. Make sure that the angle of your foot isn't pointed out. Make sure the angle of your foot is pointed in a neutral position, that as if you were walking on the floor. Also to make sure the leg isn't going out to the side. Make sure the leg is staying close to your other leg, okay, that they feel like they're together. Okay, and continue anywhere from 5 to 30 reps on that side. I would do this exercise 2 to 3 sets of anywhere from 5 to 30 reps on each side, making sure that you are contracting the glute muscle in order to raise the leg and really focus on the connection between the rib cage and the pelvis. This is important because when clients start doing the next level of exercises, then they are able to understand what it feels like to purposely get their glute muscle to activate in a movement, right? So that it is separate from another part of their body. So when they start learning lunges or step-ups, they're able to access their glute muscle independently and have that muscle fire to know that this is the muscle that is supposed to push them. If this exercise helped you, please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be putting out a lot of information about beginner body biomechanics that help clients as they start learning how to move so that they can begin to lift weights and have that be something that's very effective for them versus starting to lift weights with poor body mechanics, which never works out well. Thanks. Bye.